So I'm headed right now to take my R7 into the shop. And no, the bike's not broken. Everything's totally fine. But I am going to get a couple things done. And I was going to put it off for a couple days so I could enjoy riding more this weekend. But when I called to the shop today to see their available times, they said they actually had availability in a few hours. So I was like, yeah, might as well just book me for that one. And I'll knock it out real quick. And they said it should be done in the same day. So no stress at all there. So basically what I'm getting done to the bike is I'm putting on these new TST Industry captive chain adjusters. And the reasoning why is because those factory ones, I don't know what it is, but I've gone on the R7 forums and I've seen so many different posts on them breaking, them snapping in half, them literally collapsing off the bike. And I don't know about you guys, but I definitely don't want something like that happening. So I was like, let me get ahead of it, swap them out before they actually break, and then I can't even drive the bike until it's fixed, and I gotta go get it towed and a whole mess. So I was like, yeah, let me just take care of it right now. So I have those pieces, and then they also come with these GP style lifters. So I have my spools, and now I'll have these other lifters which I can use if I want to put the bike on a stand. So I'm gonna have two different options, which is pretty cool. And look really sick and give the bike like a bit of like a race look. And if I turn this bike into a track bike eventually too, like I was thinking, then that would really come in handy. Because again, it gives it the whole race look. And that's a really simple mod, so I know a lot of people are probably asking, oh, why didn't you do it yourself? You can do it in your garage, which is what I would tell somebody too. But the only reason why is because the threads on one of my chain pullers, so basically what the locking nut goes onto, one of the threads got messed up and it needs to get replaced. So I bought the parts for it and I'm going to take it to them. And to do that job, I just have to take off the rear wheel, and I don't really feel like doing that. And because I already need to get some other work done, which I'll get into next, I was like, okay, it's just easier just to take it to a shop, have them do it. They know what they're doing more than me for right now. Of course I want to learn eventually, but I was like, it just made sense to have them just knock out everything. So yeah, I got a new chain puller and then some just different locking nuts. And then something which I should have done a long time ago, which I haven't even been thinking about, is getting the suspension dialed in. So if you don't know, the R7 comes with this adjustable suspension right here, right there. I personally don't really know what too much of it means. I know car suspension, but bikes obviously set up a little bit differently. So I want to have them dial that in for my weight, and I heard that that should make the whole experience of this, taking it in corners, really leaning it over, it's going to be a lot better. So I'm really interested to see how that is. I definitely want to give you guys my impressions on it, so you know if it's worth it, whether you should do it or not. So that's definitely something I'm really excited to see riding this back tonight, is how the suspension handles when I want to lean the bike over and really take it in some corners hard. But I really need to build up the confidence in leaning this bike over. I get kind of psyched out right now, like scared to drop it, I'm kind of scared to lean it over so far, so I need to get that out of my head and just go for it. But yeah, the shop's not too far away, probably only another 15 minutes. So I'll head over there real quick. And it's a perfect day out, so I could use the excuse to go riding. Well, this bike's been a ton of fun so far. I have, let's see how many miles I got on this thing now. Almost 1,500 miles on this bike. But don't worry, I'm going to put a couple thousand more on this summer, because I really want to go out on some far rides, go to a lot of meets, and really try and meet a lot of you guys as well. A lot of people have DM'd me that are pretty local and ride the same routes that I do, so it'd be really cool to run into some of you guys and be able to go out for a little cruise sometime. And I really do appreciate a lot of your guys' input on my last video that I posted about whether I should get the R6 or the upcoming R9. I read through a lot of those comments and it definitely helped me with my decision. Ooh, nice G80 right here. That's really cool. And yeah, as an AMG owner, I really like that car, how it looks. My only reason why I personally wouldn't get one is just because it doesn't have a V8. I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm not the biggest fan of the inline and how they sound. But performance-wise, I mean, it beats so many other cars. Especially with a downpipe and tune, those things pull crazy numbers. And if it has that X-Drive, that thing's really quick. But no V8, not for me. Same thing with the new C63. 4-cylinder, definitely not for me. But you know what BMW I would get is a S1K or an M1K. That's definitely something I see myself picking up. Those S1Ks, those things are so sick. I like the generation with the 2 different headlights. That's kind of my go-to. I feel like that bike riding experience-wise would be so raw, so aggressive. Like a 2016 I could see myself picking up in the future. I'm surprised I haven't run into a bunch of bikers yet, because they usually pop out when whenever it's nice. You always see a ton out in my area. Wish I could get a nice pull-in, but there's way too many cars. Dang, yeah, there's a ton of traffic right here. Trying to just stay in a pretty low gear because I feel like someone's going to pop out or do something dumb up here. Squeeze in right here. There usually isn't this much traffic at this time. I don't know what's going on. It's like really backed up. Glad I left a little bit early. This highway is always pretty hot with cops though, so maybe there's one up there holding everybody back. I don't know. Alright. Almost to the shop. Still gonna run the light. What the heck? See how it is once the suspension's dialed in. Tires got nice and warm right now. I feel these things gripping. So I just got out of the shop. Here are the new chain adjusters. You guys can see them. Really nice clean look and GP style lift. Then on my suspension, they made a ton of adjustments, which I can, it's on the piece of paper how many turns they had to do, but this thing should be pretty much a night and day difference. And they just told me to go feel it out in some turns. And I got to get used to it because, like I said, it's not even like a slight half turn, 1 turn. They said it's going to be a big change, so I got to go learn the suspension, see how it acts. So I'm going to go take it through some turns. It's like rush hour traffic right now, so see how quickly I can get through it. bike, so that's the advantage. Let's feel the suspension now. I'm just gonna take it slow right now. See how it acts. Is that an E90 M3 or E92? Not sure. That's one of the only BMWs I'd buy. One of the few. Because that's a pure car. That's just naturally aspirated V8. That's something I like. But I'm so happy I got the suspension dialed in because I might go head out pretty far this weekend and hit some really nice roads. Whew. This thing sounds so good. Such a good sounding bike. Once it has an exhaust on it. Got a little corner up here. What is going on? This is literally like a 55. I'm not even accelerating yet. They're going like 40 miles an hour on the highway right now. I'm just barely leaning this thing over, but this thing feels really solid. Like when we're on a turn, hitting some little bumps, this thing feels way more planted than before. Before it felt a lot more sloppy, especially in the front end. So first impressions, this thing feels much more planted. Nice little 430 Spider. I need to do a separate video on actually testing out the suspension because it's way too much traffic. I can't do nothing. That CTSV scared me so much when it just downshifted. That caught me so off guard. I see a biker up there. Let me see if I can catch up to him. If this light turns green quick enough.